Welcome to the Spiritual Commando. Some of you may have seen my first video that I've put out recently, which was an expedition canoe weekend down the River Spey with a couple of guides, and then they led 6 of us down there, which was quite an epic adventure. This is my first real video though of speaking, and I thought I'd bring you along on a little adventure. So I'm deep in the Lake District National Park. I'm going to take you to a nice secluded little spot, but I'm not going to tell you where it is because one, it spoils it, and I don't want loads of people finding out about my secret spot. But if you know, you know. And I'm sure if you've got a bit about yourselves, you might be able to pick up clues in these in the backgrounds of this video, and you may be able to find it yourself, which is pretty much how I found it. But yeah. Anyway, I'll bring you back when we get a little bit closer. Now. So I'll just take a little break and have a little talk about why I set up the Spiritual Commando. So my previous background was a Royal Marines Commando. I started my military career as a Royal Marines Commando, and we had what was called the Commando Spirit, hence the name, and a bit of a twist on the name with a Spiritual Commando. Over the last sort of 12-18 months, I've sort of been on a bit of a spiritual journey with my healing. Those that know me well will know that I suffered quite badly with my post-traumatic stress, and it's had quite an impact on me. But I've found various different ways to deal with that, stop the demons, keep them at bay, whatever, however you want to look at it. The professional therapy. But then also nature. A couple of years ago, I got involved with a charity, Cockleshell 22, or CS22 Veterans Expeditions, and we take veterans away. I got to experience the Heroes of Telemark, but we take veterans away on commando-style expeditions, but it's all about that therapy through adventure, which is one of the reasons for starting this channel, is to bring you along a bit on my journey as I continue to heal, but also if some of my lessons can help other people deal with their trauma. And again, you don't have to be from a military background, but a lot of my experience will come from that, hence being former military. Stress is stress, regardless of how you want to look at it. Getting the kids ready for school in the morning, out the door on time with all the right kit and equipment can be the same level of stress as a military combat operation. It's how your body deals with it and what triggers you and what your backstory is, and all of that can play into the part. One thing I did when I very started this and opened Pandora's box in 2018 was comparing myself to others. I shouldn't be feeling like this. I know there's other dudes that are far worse off than me. There's missing limbs. It's just a bit of shit in my head. But at the end of the day, your journey's your journey, and you should never compare yourself to others. But yeah, hopefully I can, with this channel, help promote better mental health for veterans, whether that be military, blue light, or just the general public. But yeah, we're going to get cracking. We've got a little bit more way to go, and I'll show you the secret spot. But I'll bring you back soon. Out. So just coming off the open ground now, going into the tree line, and we won't be far from the spot. But whilst we do this little bit, I just wanted to talk about the commando mindset and the 4 pillars that make up the commando mindset and the commando spirit. So first of all, you've got courage, you've got determination, unselfishness, and cheerfulness in the face of adversity. So let's break them down. Courage. So courage, it's in action. Yeah, it's when you're scared, when the fear kicks in, and we all know fear, false events appearing real. But that's the emotion, the fear. But the courage is harnessing that fear, controlling it, and doing what you set out to do anyway. Then we'll look at determination. The sort of guts, determination, grit, which is a good book if you've not read it. But that grit, determination to achieve, do you really want what your goal is? So for me, when I was setting out to achieve my green lid, I had a fire in my belly. I wanted to prove to people that I could achieve that and that I was good enough to earn that coveted green beret and stand with a small percentage of commandos that have had the privilege to wear that over the years. Unselfishness. Don't be a jack. I won't say it. But being Jack, helping your teammates, being a team player, mucking in and helping out, and looking out for those ones that are less capable, less fortunate than you, and helping guide them. But we all know them, whatever field or discipline you're in, we all know those individuals that look out for number one. However, I will challenge that. You do need to look after yourself, but it's not in a way that you're being Jack and unselfish. Like today, I'm taking a bit of time out from my family. That's not being selfish. The bills and the money's there and they're all paid for. And I've been up early and done all the jobs that I needed to do around the house. And then when I get back, I'll have more stuff to do. But I'm taking a few hours out of my day to come to this special place that I found, which we will take you there shortly. And basically a bit of me time. And that investment in me is going to be paramount to my mental health and grounding me. And we all know being out in nature is key to that mental health, spiritual growth, repair. And then the final commando value, cheerfulness in the face of adversity. So no matter how hard it gets, no matter what's going on, trying to find the positives in the negatives. And that can be quite hard, be quite difficult. It's a bit of a stoic mindset. Daily Stoics is another good book if you little passages each day to read, and it helps you train that stoic mindset. But once I left the military, I lost a little bit of my way and remaining cheerful in the face of adversity. So it's something, it's like anything, it's a skill. You get skill fade, you got to work at this. But it's that, finding that positive out the negative and being grateful for what you've got. If you wake up every morning, some people around the world don't get to wake up, but you've got air in your lungs. You've got 2 working legs and working arms. Again, better than most and better than some of my colleagues. And they're a great inspiration to get off your arse, get out there and achieve your goals. And 10X, good book again, Grant Cardone. But if your goals aren't out of this stratosphere, then you ain't going to put the massive amount of action in required to achieve them goals. So with your goals, make them as crazy as you can and go after it. But along the way, you're going to have some hurdles. And it's about remaining cheerful through those dark times. So there's the 4 commando pillars: courage, determination, unselfishness, and cheerfulness in the face of adversity. Anyway, let's get down to this secret spot, and I'll show you once we get there. Out. So here we are. So basically where the river comes into a natural bend, creates a nice deep pool, and I'll take you down and have a look. But you can basically go for a nice cold water dip. And for those that are into the cold water therapy, this is fantastic. And look how clear that is. I'm not sure you'll be able to see very well with the reflection of the water. So yeah, nice little dip there, and the water's quite refreshing actually. I mean, it's obviously quite warm here today, starting to get in the summer. It's a yeah, nice refreshing dip in there. Just clear the mind, clear the soul. I mean, you can see from the footage, it's relatively good viz down there, and that little pool's quite deep, and even throughout the summer it stays fairly consistent, just because of the way the land. So it's a great little spot to come and just break away from the world. Those lucky enough to find it and who know about it, then yeah, it's a great spot. But I'm not going to tell you where it is, because one, it'll spoil it, and there's too many people on social media now spoiling these spots, to get their fancy pictures. This is one of my little spots where I like to come and break away from the norm and the world, and it's what works for me. Like I said before, I opened Pandora's box with the demons back in 2018 and my PTSD, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions and trying to find things that work. I like jumping in cold water. I've got a 200 litre whiskey barrel that I do a daily dip all year round, even breaking the ice, just depending on the time of year, just depends on the time that I spend within that 2 to 5 minutes. You don't need more than that. But some people might not, don't like cold water, and it might not work for them. And like with everything, like I said to you earlier on, don't compare your journey to other people's journeys. Your journey's your journey, and what you find works for you. But we do know, for everyone, getting out in nature, whether it's coming to a nice little secret spot like this and jumping in the cold water, which works for me, or you go for a walk in the woods, walk up the hills. I like doing all those things. Get out on your mountain bike, get out on the paddleboard, whatever. But just get outside and reconnect with nature, it is great for the mind and the soul. And coupled with that, if you're out walking or doing something physical, you're getting the physical aspect of it. But yeah, these little breaks away, they're a must if you want to survive in this mad world, and especially if you're dealing with trauma. As we, those people that have experienced that will know the battles and the demons, and they always get you when you're tired and you're overwhelmed by just life. And this modern digital age now, as I say, sat here talking to a camera and thinking about posting on YouTube. It's the world we live in, but it's trying to manage that information overload. And if you can find that balance and that key, then you're winning. But yeah, I'm going to sit here, enjoy a bit of lunch, enjoy some of this tranquil scenery, and then I'll catch up with you on the trail back. But yeah, out. Well, that definitely beats a Costa. Can't beat bring your own fresh coffee, boiling your own water in the wild, out in nature, and then letting it drip. Us squaddies love a good drip, don't we? It's a bootneck's prerogative. It's how we used to get shit off our chests. Tribe. That's what every guy needs, is a tribe. While you were serving, you still had that tribe. And the little drip sessions you used to have in the grots, or wherever you were on tour, or wherever dark, dingy part of the world you were in. Those little drip sessions you used to have. Believe it or not, that was therapy. That's how you dealt with whatever you had to see, deal with, do in the course of doing your job. And every organisation's going to have a tribe. The police, fire service, ambulance service, tight-knit communities that are doing hard, traumatic work at times. It's that dark sense of humour. That's how you'll deal with what you see and have to do. Over a nice brew or a hot wet. Brewing a biscuit solves all our life's problems. Well, before we leave any place, make sure you do your kit checks. Okay. Take only pictures, leave only footprints. Out. Well, I think what he was trying to say, if I can translate it properly, look at this lunatic walking through our field. Stand clear. Looks all right, Ryan. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that little micro adventure with me this afternoon. Certainly cleansed my my mind and soul. And now we'll head back to the van and drive back to reality. But yeah, till next time, out.